Thanks, guys. Bjergsen, I know you say that I can't just keep picking you for all my interviews, but you can't go 11-1 as Irelia and pick up a pentakill and not expect me to ask you about it. So tell me about how the series went from your perspective and how you were able to stay focused through the long series.
Oh man, there's really no recipe to staying focused in these long series. We had been playing best of five scrims kind of, or playing 5 games in a row to kind of prepare for this mentally or be able to play that many games in a row. So I think that practice really paid off today because we went all 5 games. Series overall was exciting. There was just a lot of adaptation in every game and in every draft. We could see both teams adapting to what the other team had picked. And yeah, just really happy I got to show off my Aurelia today.
What did you think about some of those drafts? Because there were parts where it looked a little weird on both sides.
I think in a best of five, the drafts are bound to start looking a little weird the later it goes because even though it might not be the most optimal meta, it's like this best of five meta where you're constantly adapting to what they're doing. And even though it might look weird in isolation, in the series, it feels right. And I felt like I'm pretty happy with how we adapted. And a lot of the things felt like, even if it might not be the best absolute draft, it made us more comfortable or it put us in a position where we just felt it was easier to play the game.
And you had the crazy Irelia game. Greg had the crazy steal. What did you feel about, or how did you feel about the rest of your team's performance today?
I think everyone just had a game where they stepped up. Kevin, obviously, in this last game had a super good game on Jace, and I know Parth was sweating a little bit picking Jace in the deciding game. That's always a risky one for TSM, but obviously just for having his pentakill, Mithy just playing a great game on Leona overall and helping me get that pick on Dardoch towards the end of the game. So I think we all had games where we didn't play as well, but then everyone also just had a game where they really stepped up and carried from that position.
So I asked Sven and Mithy a little bit about this, but what's it like having both Parth and Reggie in the post games talking to you guys, giving you the pep talk beforehand?
It's nice. It's really useful because they all kind of have different perspectives. Obviously, Parth, Song, and Lost are very focused on draft and how we need to be adapting in the game and how our strategy was. Andy's very focused on just these Andy things and these things that he sees in the game that other people might not necessarily see, especially in these high pressure situations. And Wallen is the same way. He sees how we act, how we communicate, how confident we are, what is leading us to be confused and not communicating properly. So I think it's great that we have so many people watching over us during the game.
And I've seen a couple of your Weldon sessions in the makeup room. What kind of an effect has that had on you personally?
Um, I think just for me personally and for the team, it feels like we're much more comfortable and we're in a much more kind of calm and competitive mindset. I think he helps kind of get the nerves out of the way or take those nerves and transfer them into kind of excitement and mental energy and joy for getting to play on stage rather than getting on stage and thinking, oh, there's a crowd, there's so many people, I'm nervous. Just enjoying that there's a crowd and we get a chance to play in front of such a crowd every week and that we're lucky enough to get to play again.
And speaking to kind of like playing to the crowd or having maybe on stage jitters or dealing with some of the criticism of TSM's passiveness lately, how do you deal with all that weight on your shoulder?
Well, it's not much more weight on my shoulder than I've had in the past, so it's not really anything new for me. I think for some of my teammates, especially John or Greg, it's obviously something new that he had to deal with, and I think having Weldon come in has helped him a lot, kind of game perspective, and for him to know that we care about him, we like playing with him, and we respect him as a player. And the most important thing is that he doesn't have any doubt coming from us. If he has no doubt coming from us and he knows that we trust him, then he's able to make these kinds of plays like he did in this series.
What do you think about his growth since when he first joined the team?
I think he's really willing to speak up against us, which is something I want in a jungler. I want him to be able to say, no, I don't want to do this. I want to do this. This is what I need to do to get ahead or to be powerful or the player that I see. And I think that's kind of the player that we've been building him up to, and I wanted every jungler of mine to be able to do. And I don't want John to feel overly pressured from the community or for being on TSM or anything like that. I know that affects him a little bit, and I think it has to all the junglers on TSM, but I want him to just continue to grow into that role and be really confident and able to tell us what he wants to do.
And pulling attention back to your play specifically, you have had some phenomenal games recently. Are we getting any closer to seeing the old solo carry everything Bjergsen again?
Well, it seems like we're only really winning when I'm playing assassins, so I think we'll just continue to do that, and I don't think they can ban them all out, so I will just keep picking these champions where I feel confident and I feel like I have the ability to affect the game on my own and make individual plays. Not that I'm playing well or even perfect on these champions every game, just I think my entire team also just feels much more confident when I'm playing these champions that can make the aggressive and potentially game-winning play like Aurelia LeBlanc.
And going into semifinals next week, Team Liquid has the choice between you and 100 Thieves Fly Quest tomorrow. Are you expecting them to choose you for a second round?
No, I mean, I think we already have a feeling that we're going to play C9. I think Peter might say that we're boosted, but I don't think he has the balls to actually pick us. So I'm already preparing to play against Jensen for next week.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in that game, Bjergsen. Thank you again and congratulations.